What do you think of the draft, Nick Leach?
Well, it's we've already maybe touched on it a little bit, but it's, do you win or do you tank? Like, where do you kind of lie, or where do you want to sit and be in? For me, it's all about, I'm big on, trying to get the core here and making sure they win, build that momentum going into next year. And for me, like I said, Brad Holmes, he's drafted well already. We've seen it happen with the 7th pick last year with Penei Sewell, and all the other draft picks to go along with it. For me, necessarily, you don't have a Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence, and I get Trevor Lawrence hasn't panned out, but that was a coveted draft pick to have for the Jaguars. There's not that type of person in this draft, at least quarterback-wise. So for me, I don't really care that where you fall. It looks like they're going to fall kind of in that 2 spot now that you have a game and a half on Houston, since they just won again the other day. So for me, I actually like the 2 spot. I like being let the guy in front of you make the decision. Let the Jaguars go with Hutchinson or let them go with Thibodeau. I'm not really too worried. I like the fact that you kind of get stuck with one of those two, not necessarily you have to pick who's going to be the best one, because we know how things work around here in Detroit. People like to look at, oh, well, you could have had this person, you could have had this person. Like, that's a narrative that fans in Detroit like to have, especially with the Lions. So for me, it's just keep doing what you're doing. Keep winning. Keep playing hard-nosed football. Build that confidence there, and then get your piece. Like, top 10 talent in that, like in the NFL draft, like, they're going to contribute. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I was on that bandwagon. I'm not gonna lie. Like last year, when I was podcasting out of the basement, I was big on like, let's get the first, let's get the highest pick we can get. Let's get the highest pick we can get. I don't feel that way anymore, man. Like, Brad Holmes has truly proven to me that I can trust him, and no matter where we fall. I'm a big proponent of Kyle Hamilton. You guys see me on Twitter if you already follow me on Speakeasy Sports _. But I'm a big proponent of Kyle Hamilton. Like, that's the guy that I want for sure. But like, if not, I'm cool with like whoever we take. I don't care where we fall. I'm confident that this guy's going to make the right pick. You look at the rookies that we have this year. Again, I touched on them a little bit earlier, but Penei Sewell with the first overall pick, our first overall pick. Levi Onwuzurike. Lee McNeil, Iffy we haven't seen much of because he's kind of been banged up, but we've seen him in moments where he's guarding, some of the league's best, and Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers in the Green Bay Packers game before going down. And going into that halftime, we had the lead, and that means our defense was playing very well. And part of that was Iffy starting at cornerback that day. Yes, ultimately Devontae got him on a play, but that's Devontae freaking Adams and Aaron freaking Rodgers. Like, that's going to happen. Derek Barnes, a 6th round pick, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he had a sack yesterday, and he had the green dot last week, if I'm not mistaken, too. Like, just the value that this guy Brad Holmes is bringing, and even for like the pick does not matter because we're getting these guys in the UDFA's too. You know what I'm saying? Jerry Jacobs, fire. Like, yeah. Like the what? He wasn't even he wasn't drafted at all, and he his first year, his rookie year, not like years past, like his first year as an undrafted free agent was balling with the Detroit Lions, of all teams. Like, we're not sprinkled with talent where he could just look good and better than he is because they have a spectacular defensive line. No, he was doing the damn thing, and that's an undrafted free agent. Like, the pick doesn't matter. I'm guilty-free of rooting for the wins at this point because I believe in Brad Holmes, the GM of this team.
Well, and that's something that, like, honestly, we haven't seen in quite some time of draft picks that you can sit there and go back on. It's like, man, I'm happy we drafted the guy. Glad he's still here. Like, try to think in your head, like, of a previous draft pick, like from the last 10 years, that you're like, wow, he's really made a difference. Besides maybe DeAndre Swift and T.J. Hockenson. Yeah,
and I'm even thinking too, like Jason Kabinda yesterday, who got hurt. I'm sorry if I don't know, but like, is he an undrafted free agent as well? Like, where did he come from? I don't remember drafting him.
That's news to me. You've been on this big Jason Kabinda kick the last hour and a half, so I thought you knew everything about him at this point.
Blood type B, yeah, 6'3", 264 pounds. He does not like oatmeal though. No, I'm just kidding. But no, seriously though, he's another example though. Whether he was undrafted free agent or just signed as a regular free agent, another piece of talent that Brad Holmes was able to find in a cap restricted free agency too. We couldn't spend any money. In fact, we had to take Jared Goff and pay him more money next year so we could sign our rookies this year. He did make the trade, though, I will say, for Trinity Benson, which obviously didn't work out. We haven't seen much production from him or even him able to make it onto the field. I guess bad call on his part. But outside of that, this guy's just been killing it, man. And I'm trying to find out on Jason Kapinda, and maybe I should look for the chat. These guys are pretty quick. I wish my man Steve-O was here. But just all the talent this guy's able to find, I don't care where we fall in the draft. Is there one guy in the draft though that you want like for sure?
No, I mean not part. I'm like It's weird as a Lions fan. Like I said, I've kind of changed. Like just watching the way the years develop, I've completely changed how I kind of look at it. Is like there's a lot of pieces this team needs. Right? It's just again add pieces that are gonna make a difference. But there's not like one guy because like we've seen in years past. Like you go back through even the number one picks. Like everyone wanted Trevor Lawrence last year. Like oh my God, could you get Trevor Lawrence? Now you got people already calling that guy a bust this year. You got a guy like crazy. Baker Mayfield, 2018, was taken number 1 overall. I wouldn't really want Baker Mayfield as my QB. And Browns fans might be upset about that. I get that you're a QB, but like he just served up 4 interceptions. That's something he's kind of dealt with so far in the early stages of his career, turning the ball over. Jadeveon Clowney was a number 1 overall pick. He's bounced around from team to team. Jameis Winston, 2015. Like there's a lot of I'm done kind of getting hell-bent on the names that a lot of media and a lot of fans that get stuck on. Like that's for me, it's just like, okay, there's a reason that guys get paid to be scouts, and a reason why Brad Holmes has been so successful that he is because there's a lot of stuff that we don't see as just normal sports fans that these guys are noticing. So for me, it's like a renewed, like refreshing for me, because I'm not like, oh, we got to make sure we get this pick so we can get this person. Like I loved the Jeff Okudah pick at the time when it happened. I'm not afraid to admit that. Like Jeff Okudah, has he really turned out? Like, yeah, he's been injured, and I'm not going to sit there and knock him. But no, like that, there's other guys that you could have taken looking back now. So for me, it's just like just being open-minded. That's honestly, it's hard to do as a Lions fan, but that's just where my head's at.
No, yeah, I think you hit it right in the button. Is like we have to be open-minded. I hate to like sound like a broken record, but you see what this coaching staff is doing with these guys. We don't even know where freaking half these guys came from. I'm saying, like, you have to be open-minded and accept the fact that, one, either Brad Holmes knows what the hell he's doing with making these picks and signings, or two, Dan Campbell and his coaching staff, his overrated coaching staff, according to my man Churchill. I'm joking, but one of these guys know what the hell they're doing, and the best combination of it is that they both know what the hell they're doing, and we have 2 first-round draft picks coming in. Like, you can't really complain. You gotta be open-minded, like you said. Like, if they went in there and they took neither Thibodeau or Hutchinson, I'm not complaining. I'm not crying about that at all.
No, it's again. I think you have to take one of those 2 guys. I will say that with those guys are difference makers on the defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of these teams that are in these playoff races have that kind of key piece. I mean, I look at what DeMarcus did last night to Washington.
Heineke.
But again, that was another guy that was taken, and he absolutely disrupted the field last night. And it seemed like every play he was in the backfield.
Do you have any faith in guys like Charles Harris, who's once a first rounder, who we've seen go crazy as of late, or Austin Bryant, who we've seen doing the little celebration there, little high kick thing, or like any of those guys becoming that? I mean, don't forget, we have Romeo Okwara coming back from injury next year. We have Julian Okwara coming back too. I've seen him play more the inside this year too, but like we have guys that can rush. Like, you have faith in any of those guys developing into that? And
yeah, but who's the last guy that we've had here that like could ultimately change the direction of a game or swing momentum in
as
the
an
Lions'
edge, or just
favor?
in general?
Just on the defensive line for the Lions. I know Trey Flowers was brought in, supposed to be that guy.
You gotta say Sue. Dominican Sue was the last one.
And when was the last time he was here?
Friggin' 2013.
Yeah, like that's like that helps with one. It helps with your defensive backs too.
Yeah.
It's like getting the pressure to the QB. So
do you have faith though if he didn't take those guys, that maybe that Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon like wasn't that?
I don't see it that way. I mean, they're that high for their respective reasons.
It's kind of like the national media hype though you were talking about a little bit though too. Like.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong by any means, but we've seen what Hutchinson's done against good defense, like good offensive line. I feel like the Big Ten's known for producing very, very good offensive linemen, and he tore it up all year long. And I know a lot of it for what people were saying is Kayvon Thibodeau, like he doesn't have a lot of sacks or anything this year. I think he only had 6.5 sacks. So, but he also didn't have a guy like David Ojabo on the opposite side rushing. But he's quick. There's been moves that he makes is like that they're gonna pay off at the next level.